Welcome to TBR Together. I'm Megan, and this is Jake. This is episode 16, I
It's
think.
it's an episode.
It's an episode.
I didn't look at the number.
It's part 4 of our installment of Fragile Threats. I think we'll be able to finish talking about it today.
That's the hope,
That's the hope.
because we are 2.5 weeks out of reading this book, so
Yeah,
we need to just be done talking about it at this point.
I really liked this book, though. I'm going to say that up front.
Yeah, well, yeah, so did I. But I don't need to continue talking about it. I didn't love it enough to talk about it weeks after, except for this platform right here.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what you're reading now first, or you just want to?
If you want to.
What are you reading?
Well, I just finished Mistborn, and in true me fashion, started a different series. So I'm going to do all of Dungeon Crawler Carl, because
that's a bold statement from you.
I'm going to do it. But I guess I can't fully say that because I don't know how many books it's actually slated for. The 8th one comes out sometime this year, and I don't know if he's going to do more. Because I have no idea what happens in the story after the first book. Because I've already read the first book, I'm just redoing it to start over, so I'm almost done with that one. But I decided to do that because they're opening a backer kit in April for a TTRPG and a deck building game for Dungeon Crawler Carl.
You love building a deck.
Deck building games are fun. It's different than a TCG building a deck. Two different things in this aspect.
Oh, well.
So a deck building board game, card game is there's just a set of cards, and then you get to draw so many, and then you use them throughout the adventure. So it's different every time based on how you draw the cards and how you pull sorts of things like that.
Okay.
So I don't think
an adventure kind of thing.
In a roundabout way, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think you've watched me play Slay the Spire. So that's like the most popular deck building game. It's a video game that was adapted into a board game. It's one of the board games that I do want to buy, but it's $120 for it because it's a very expansive game. But that's the main reason I want to do Carl, and because Micah keeps talking about it. So I told him that I would jump through and read that whole thing. So I've already got book number 2 lined up on Audible. We'll go through those.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what happens. Probably jump back to heretical fishing.
That's what I'm saying. You're not one to start a series and stick with it. You have to get a palate cleanser in there or something. Well, I love this journey for you. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going on in the middle of Dungeon Crawler Carl, so maybe one of the books in the middle will be a palate cleanser.
Maybe.
You never know.
It
could be there.
I do think I personally read the synopsis of all of them, but I'm not going to do that to you, so.
You've read the synopsis of every Dungeon Crawler Carl book?
I think I was trying to figure out what.
It feels extremely random for you to do.
When you were talking about it, the first time you read it, I went and looked it up because I wanted to see with all of the. I felt like this year that audiobook really took off, that audiobook narrator, a lot of people really started
to
either listen. So I think I originally looked to see when the book came out and if he could win a Grammy for it is how it started. And I think it came out too long ago that he couldn't win a Grammy for the first book. So then I started looking at all of the books and the publishing dates, and then I was looking for the future one. Because I think this man deserves a Grammy. I've never listened, but listening to you passionately talk about it, I feel that he deserves a Grammy.
Came out in 2020.
Yeah. So I was looking to see if there were more coming out, because then those would be eligible for the next Grammy cycle.
Yeah. I say he did such a good job at it. Most people thought that it was a full cast.
Yeah.
A dramatized audiobook.
That's good.
So it's very well done.
Yeah. That's great.
It's worth the $16 of a credit on Audible.
Yeah, buy the credit and then get the book. Make Amazon lose money. What we're saying. I don't know if they really lose money on it or not.
Wish they were. Hopefully Matt Denneman's making a good chunk, but probably not, unfortunately.
I do hope they are. I don't think they are either.
But okay, so what? We already know what you're reading, but what are you reading?
I'm reading Darker Shades of Magic because I need to know where we started, and I wasn't ready to leave these people yet. Although I am learning that it's a very different vibe. It's a very different vibe. I like some characters a lot more in this book than I do in the first series. Some characters from this book aren't in the first series at all. But I do think, having gone back and read it and then like kind of looking over this again before we start today, she does a really good job of like nodding at the first book, but not really needing to know those people in order to like really enjoy this book. Because I really enjoyed this book before I started Darker Shades, and I think reading Darker Shades just makes me appreciate this a little bit more. I think V.E. Schwab is phenomenal. I love her. If she writes it, I will read it. That's just kind of what I've decided this week, that if it says V.E. Schwab, I will be reading it. So
Thought we'd already determined that.
I know, I was already pretty confident.
I feel like after the big three of Addie LaRue, Vicious, and Vengeful, that you were pretty much set up.
I know, but Bury Our Bones got a little slow for me. Like, I did love the overall arching concept, and there were certain character stories I really liked, but like as a character driven
75%
storyline, yeah, that's true. I don't know, I was pretty confident in that, but I was like, oh, I won't go back and read Darker Shades. I'm pretty good. And then I was like, no, I need to read all of this. Might even buy the graphic novels. Like, I'm
they have dramatized versions?
They have. No, it's like the same thing she did with Vicious, that she does like.
Oh, you mean legitimate graphic novels?
Yeah, she did some graphic novels, and they're like, because they say like 1.5 on them. So I'm assuming it's like a short like novella or like type thing, but it's graphic.
So we have one for Vicious.
Yeah, I know, and I want to read that.
I think it's from Vicious. We need to look at that again, because now I can't remember. I think it was Vicious, but.
Well, when I was looking at this, because you know how sometimes like under the books it'll say like Vicious 1, and then it'll say like Vicious 2. I don't remember what. Yes. And then like so darker. So like on Goodreads you can click that sometimes and it'll take you.
Yes.
Yeah, to the whole series.
I know.
Well, for those of us who don't, you can do that.
Are you the first person to... Yeah, I think you might be the last person to learn this.
No, I've known this for a while. I'm just saying that's what I clicked on to see those graphic novels. That was it. That was all. I was just saying, like, I clicked on it,
and what I'm saying is, now follow me here. I didn't click on the Goodreads thing to see how many 0.5s there were.
Yeah.
But with writing multiple series, you could have multiple different books. So that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. That could be from this.
Yeah.
Or from the other one.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
I'll have to check that out. I'll have to look, because I don't.
I
bought that.
I already knew that the graphic novel exists.
I didn't know it existed for this one.
It's on the shelf. I've held it in my hands and looked at it. I knew, without clicking on Goodreads, I knew that it was there.
Do you remember what the title is?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would I remember that?
I don't know, because you said you held it in your hands, like you felt really confident about it. I thought maybe.
No, I've held a lot of things in my hands. Doesn't mean I remember everything that they are. It has a little lady on the front, and it might be blue.
Well, there are lots of little ladies in this. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, maybe just a few. Well, anyway, let's get started. Let's jump into this. We're on part 8, and we've got to get to part...
So, in a legal sense, we have 5 parts to cover.
Yep.
There's 12.
Well, part 8 was probably my favorite part of this entire book.
We determined this was Tess.
This is Tess's backstory.
Yes, this was a rather interesting part of that because you get to see her family dynamic with her two sisters, and then right, she has two sisters. Three sisters.
Three sisters.
Oh yeah, because two were normal. One was a bloodthirsty killer.
Yeah.
And then her mom and dad. What?
Because they always refer to him as having 4 daughters. Him and his fantastical 4 daughters, because he like sells his daughters off like they're prized part of his prized collection, which is a weird take. But I was very excited to get to this chapter because I really wanted to know how a 16-year-old has to be forced to run a shop by herself in a large city. And after reading her chapter, I'm like, oh yeah, that tracks. Honestly, I think she did surprisingly well for having little to no street smarts in this. Like, she grew up in a somewhat loving home. Her mom seems great.
Yeah, I just assumed everybody was dead.
That's what I thought too, because that's what happens to Alucard.
Bare bones.
Yeah, but no,
Assumed
her family
everyone's
is
dead.
very much alive, and I feel like her oldest sister is gonna be a problem in later books.
Her older sister is the one that we talked about early on in the book that was quote unquote following her, that calls her Little Rabbit. Because you come to find out in this portion that Tess is basically on the run from her older sister because of her power. Her mom told her, you get the fuck out of the house. You just go hide.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it.
I also really enjoyed, it starts off with her around like 5, maybe 6, before she gets her magic, and it describes the day that like the world goes from being normal to her seeing threads and everything, to the point that like she doesn't understand what's happening at first, and like full on like grabs a candle flame trying to grab the threads out of it. And when she tells her mom is like,
I thought it was a full-blown fire. I
was
thought
it
it was the fireplace.
Oh, I thought it was a candle flame.
It might have been. I know it was fire, but now I don't know. I was envisioning a fireplace, but it could be. It does that semantics doesn't matter.
No. I just know she like full on stuck her hand in the fire. But when she like explains to her mom, like, well, I saw the threads, I went to grab them, her mom immediately knows that like this is a very rare magic and that her daughter has it. And instead of being like, oh, that's so great, she's like, you're telling no one. You have no magic. And her dad, which puts her in a very uncomfortable spot of the fact that her dad basically thinks she's nothing without magic.
Yeah, she's worthless to him.
Yeah, her dad prizes magic, and they reference this a little bit earlier on in the book that a lot of people think that magic is a gift and magic chooses who it goes to. And so I think her dad thinks that his daughter's not worthy of magic because she doesn't have any. Like, she's not as worthy as the rest of the world. I don't really know if they say what his powers are.
Just being a bitch.
I don't think so. Well, he has that like enchanted window, because she uses the window that has that moving owl on the window.
Yeah.
I assumed that he did that, but maybe he didn't. I don't know. But he has a magical shop where he sells like very rare artifacts of magic, but he won't sell anything that's like dark magic or anything illegal. And he like prides himself on that, because that, you later find out that that is not something that anybody else in the family took on. And so her 3 sisters, because they break this down. So her oldest sister was just like super pretty, didn't have like a ton of magic. So they just like marry her off to a really wealthy family with magic. And then her second sister goes to compete in this competition that later gets canceled. And so she's like a traveling, like, she works for like the circus is what it sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
And then her other sister, and I don't remember where this one falls. I don't know if she's I don't think she's the oldest. I think she's like one of the middles. But that's Saraval is her name. And she can, they don't really say what her actual power is, just that she's like has a very strong power, and she can like tell when people like their intentions, or no, she can see the value of things. That's what it is. But they don't really explain what that means. Just that, like, she can tell when something is valuable. So she goes and she is like a traveling collector and helps her dad's store by like collecting things and selling this, but she's also like an independent contractor kind of thing. Well, they all
Mhm.
come. You spend like a couple chapters with her dad, like trying to use all of his artifacts to like figure out what her power is and if she has any and if it's coming. And then they all come home for his 40th or 50th birthday or something. And little Tess is so excited. She goes to the docks and like gets I don't remember what they call it, but it's like this little magical stone. It has a tree in it. And it's supposed to tell you, or it's supposed to like warm your hands and make you feel like warm summer.
It's a summer stone.
That's what it's called. Yeah. And it's broken, so she gets it for like nothing. And then this is also when she gets her little friend. She gets the bones of an owl because she really, really wants that. And she ends up having to pay, like with a hairpin. I thought that was really cute. She ran out of money, so she was like, please take my hairpin. Just give me these bones. I really want the bones. And she ends up fixing her dad's, like fixing the summer stone because she can see all the threads in it. So she like fixes it and tweaks it and tinkers it to make it not only like warm his hand, but make him feel like it's summer. So she really improves it. And then her little secret project is that she's going to make her owl animated, which we know works because that's like her little friend in the shop. And when she gives her dad, all the sisters are trying to give the gifts before Saraval because they're like, oh, this bitch, we know she's going to give him something ridiculous. So they're all like, I'm going to go first. And the oldest sister says that she's pregnant. And they're like, well, none of us are topping that. So that's super great. The middle one gives him like tickets to a show in his honor, which he's like, okay. Like you can tell he doesn't like it, which is so rude. And then Tess is like, oh, let me go. I need to go before Saraval because she's going to ruin everything for everybody. So she gives him the stone, and like Saraval like clocks her in a way of like, how did you afford this, basically? And she was like, oh, I got it at the market. It was broken. And then you can just like, she like says that like her mom like stiffens because her mom is like, do not tell them that.
Well, and everybody questions her.
Yeah.
Like, well, how did you fix it? She's like, well, I'm good at fixing things.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, I learned from you, Dad. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then Saraval gives him years. That's what she gives him. She gives him like,
And he is not happy.
oh, he's pissed.
5 years.
5 years, yeah. To be taken at any time.
Like he's Justin Timberlake in that movie In Time.
That's exactly what
Amanda
I thought
Seyfried.
of. Exactly what I thought of when I saw it, or read it. I was like, man. I was like, that's a good movie. I should watch it again. And then they get in this huge big fight. And then all the sisters, this was my favorite part. All this is the other two sisters sitting at the table gossiping about all this stuff that Saraval does. And the one sister's like, I heard that she sells people. Yeah, and the other sister's like, I heard that she murders people. And Tessa's like, hey. And they're like, shut up. You're lucky we still let you be here. Like, she's the annoying little sister.
You shouldn't hear any of this, but
No.
But you're here.
And they're like, and also, she's the worst. We all hate her.
Yeah.
But then later that night, the two sisters were like, oh, we're going to go out. And Tessa's like, oh, they're going to let me go. I'm just going to go with them. And they're like, no, you're not. And so she goes up to her room. She's like, that's fine, because she wanted to build her owl. And that's when Saraval goes in and realizes what Tess is doing. And
She'd already made the owl by the time Saraval went in there.
Yeah. She's like, I thought she was like improving him, like trying to get him to move a little bit better and like clean up the threads or something. But she's like playing with him. And then Saraval clocks it and is like, now, how did you do this? And she's like, we're going to talk about this, because her dad calls for her. And apparently in this house, if he calls for you, you better go. And so she goes and tells her mom, like, hey, I told Cerevel I had magic because she thought I stole this, and I did not steal anything. And her mom is like, I've been saving this money for you, baby girl. You gotta go.
Yep. Get out.
Get out.
And then
Love
she
you so
never
much.
saw her family again.
No, which is so crazy that, like, as a mother to send your child away because your other child and your husband are going to try to sell her or use her. Like, that is such a hard
Yeah.
position. Like, why wouldn't you go with her? She was like
Why
12.
would she go with her?
I don't know. It seems like a better idea than just to throw a 12-year-old into the world and be like, figure it out. Here's some money. Hope you have a nice life.
Yeah, so let's put the mom in poverty as well. Like, she's not going to do that to herself.
I don't know.
It's not going to happen.
I just wish it would have.
Early 1800s in a fantasy novel.
Yeah, that's true. But she hops on a boat, and she's very lucky because she goes on a boat with the man that sold her the broken stone, and he's like, "If you're here to get your money back, I told you it was broken."
Yeah. She's like, oh, don't worry. I fixed it. And he's like, what? Oh, okay.
He asks like 0 follow-up questions.
Yeah,
That's what I love about him.
But he's just kind of like, I probably shouldn't. I don't need to know. Is pretty much his vibe. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then more information he has, the more likely he is to be murdered in an alley.
Yeah. And then she convinces him to let her on the boat, and she's like, "If you let me on your boat, I'll fix all your stuff. I fix the sunstone or summerstone. I can fix everything." And he's like, "Are you in trouble?"
And I can make it better. That's
Yeah.
what he always says.
Yeah,
She
so-
can improve everything.
I mean, to her credit, everything that she's touched in this book, she has
yes,
improved.
she can, but
Yeah.
nobody knows what she can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, you can make it better when you can touch the inner workings of everything at a molecular level.
Yeah, that's true.
People just think that she's fucking with it.
Yeah. I wish we would have learned what color her magic is. Because Alucard can see threads. Did I say that wrong again?
Hmm?
Did I say it wrong again?
Who?
Alucard?
Akalar.
I don't know how to say it anymore. He's not our next chapter, so I don't know. But he can also see threads.
Mhm.
It's described slightly different, but he can see like colors that people have.
Mhm.
But we don't ever hear him say what color Tess is. And I'm really interested to know what color she is, because like I don't really know, like her power is like her, like how she sees it. And then she like manipulates what's already there. It's not like she has it. So I'm really interested to see that, but they don't really, because she never talks about like what color. She doesn't see her own magic, I guess, unless maybe she did, and I just don't remember her saying what color it was. But
I don't know. She doesn't have like an elemental magic.
yeah, I know.
So how can it? I mean, it doesn't have color. So maybe that's why we don't know.
Maybe
Because she just fucks with magic.
that's true. But I wonder if that.
And
I don't
so
know.
far, that's what we understand is that all the colors coordinate to an elemental magic.
Yeah. So I wonder if she has like a glow or something. Like not. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But then the next that leads us to part 9.
Mm-hmm.
The threads that bind them, and this is White London, all about Holland and Koska again, and their weird little dynamic.
There's nothing wrong with them.
I don't
They're just
trust
two best friends, just yucking it up.
yucking it up.
Uh-huh. One's
I-
alive, one's a ghost.
Yeah.
Nothing
One
wrong.
cannot be trusted. I do not trust Holland at all. He gives off weird vibes. I think
a
he's
ghost.
lying to her. Well, yeah, he's a ghost, but he's also like
So, yeah, of
an
course you can't trust
untrustworthy
him.
ghost.
He's not Casper.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
He's not a friendly ghost. She thinks he's friendly. She thinks they're best friends, and I think,
well, because she met him when she was 7,
yeah, that's true.
and he came and talked to her and has been talking to her for years
Yeah,
and only goes to her.
yeah, she's the only person that can see him. That's suspicious.
If you met a ghost at the age of 7 that was telling you and gave you magical powers, I think you'd be still talking to them years later.
That's true. I guess I see. This is what I'm talking about,
There's-
though. I know that he tells her that he picked her to give her the magic and that he is bound to her because she has his magic. I don't trust him. I think he's lying.
I doubt it.
I don't know. I
No.
just don't trust him. I think
He's a truthful fellow.
no.
He's named after a country. No,
Yeah.
a truthful guy.
And like even before I started Darker Shades, I didn't trust him. Now reading Darker Shades, I triple don't trust him. I don't trust him so much. I don't trust him even harder.
How much of his perspective do you get in Darker Shades?
You don't get a lot of his perspective. It's mostly right now just Kel, Lila, and like these weird things being possessed by dark magic.
Okay.
However, there are a lot of other perspectives that's just not his, but every single person's perspective in that book talks about White London smelling like blood and how they would do anything for magic. And they obviously, we talk about it in this book, how they like tattoo themselves to bind magic to them and all of that. So I just inherently don't trust those people because nobody has a good thing to say about White London at all. Not even the people in it.
It was a long explanation just to say not a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome. And maybe if I get his perspective, I'll let you know. But
Okay.
but thus far, I have not.
Okay.
They did give him a Swedish accent though.
The
which is
only
weird.
the only reason I ask is because I want to know like what he thinks of the whole situation, because he talks himself up a little bit at the end, like about what it is. So I want to know like when everything's going on, what he actually is thinking in the moment
Yeah.
versus when he's dead later on.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I ask.
Well, he's not king yet, and I feel like that's mostly what they focused on is his time as king.
Okay.
So I haven't got. So maybe when that happens, he's also like low key being like possessed by the king. It's real weird. It's like a weird magic. They do some interesting things in White London, so I don't trust nobody. And then that brings us after Koska. We learned about Koska, like summoning Holland for the first time, and that's kind of what that entire chapter is about, is how she dreamed about him and then he like starts haunting her. And then that brings us to the cutest little family breakfast ever, with Lila and Kelkay and Rod and Alucard all having a cute little family breakfast with Ren. And Lila hates the queen, and then the queen steals her blood, and then Lila pouts off. And then Ren asks when she's going to get magic. And she's like, and they're like, you don't need it. And she's like, no, I do. Because everybody hates Dad because he doesn't have any. And then it's just like super awkward at the table. Yeah.
But then, how old is she? 9? That's how a 9-year-old would talk.
Yeah. I think she might be even younger than that.
I have no idea.
She's like,
Literally doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. I think she's like 6. But
Fair.
yeah. So then it moves to Lila pouting through the town. She gets some sticky buns and gets her magical coin and realizes that there are 2 at 11 o'clocks in the day and not just the one at night. So then she goes over and checks out the hand. And at the same time, Alucard's checking out the destroyed building in which Tess tore apart.
Yeah.
And that's when you meet Tess's little friend again, and he has purple magic. And this does bother me a little bit. Alucard's like, we gotta arrest this kid. He has bone magic. But Kel and Delilah both also have bone magic because they're on Tari. Like, does it not count because they're like the blessed or something? Like, do they not get in trouble? Is this like when Harry Potter starts using the forbidden spells, it doesn't count? Like, we're just all supposed to be fine with it? Is that how it's supposed to work? Like, people that have bone magic can't use it, but the Antari can? Doesn't make any sense.
When did they use it?
Well, technically, they use it in the fights. When they start fighting the hired hand, Delilah like starts crushing her ribs, and she's like, "That's not fair. That's cheating."
Okay. Sounds like it's for the greater good in that moment versus some kid who's randomly on the street.
Yeah.
That's exactly the way that they would be thinking.
Yeah, I guess.
These are the most powerful magicians in all 4 Londons.
That's true.
What are you going to do? Throw them into fucking jail?
That's
You
a
can't.
fair point.
It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
They pop a hole and go jump to another country.
Yeah. Or world. Yeah. Yeah.
This is just a child on the street begging for quarters. Yeah, let's fucking lock him up.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that, that makes sense. They can't contain the Antari, so they just like,
Yeah.
like, well, I guess we're just gonna use them.
And they don't want to contain the Antari because they use them.
Yeah, that's true.
And they give them high authority.
Yeah.
Make them important.
Which is, I guess, like Tess talks about that a lot. How she also has decided she doesn't want to tell anybody what she is because they're just going to try to use her for her power and she's not going to really get to be a person anymore. And that kind of does happen the minute everyone starts to find out. So, because she wasn't that far off. And then that brings us back to Grey London, where Tess wakes up in a bar. In a bar. On a table, I'm pretty sure. And this chapter left me personally with a lot of questions. Because this is where she realizes that the little thread that she followed to get here to the bar owner, keeper, tavern owner, whatever you want to call it, was a black magic thread. And she's like, "Ooh, can't touch that," because she sees them in her dad's shop, so she knows what it looks like. And she's like, "I will not be touching that." And she leans away from the magic, and the magic like reaches out to her to like try to get her. And I'm like, "What? I don't know what that means, but that feels important." And it is not brought up ever again. So I'm hoping that gets
she also assumed that the magic was coming from him. And then when she woke up and realized that he did have magic, but it wasn't the same color as the thread she followed, she was kind of on guard then. Because it was emanating from behind a closed door.
Yeah, she says he has a golden glow. That's what she says. But they weren't.
And he's been practicing.
He's been practicing.
He's very happy to tell you that he's been practicing.
Yeah, Ned Tuttle. He's practicing. And then she finds out that he knows. He's like, "Oh, I know." Because, let me try this one more time. He's talking really, really fast in a language that she only half knows. They call it like the King's English. Because in Red London, our language is like high society language. So she only like kind of knows it. And he was like, "Oh, that's so crazy. Kel always talked like this." And she's like, "Kel Maresh?" He's like, "Yeah." She's like, "The prince?" And he's like, "He's a prince?" I loved that part. He's like, "Are we talking about the same Kel? The one that's dating Delilah?"
The same Kel Maresh, the pirate.
Yeah, she's like, "Yeah, we're talking about the same one." He's like, "Delilah ain't no princess." And I was like, "Okay, my man." And then he asks her if she wants tea. And this is hands down one of my favorite interactions in this entire book. And she's like, "You have tea here?" And he's like, "Yes." He's like, "How do you want your tea?" And she's like, "In a cup?" Like, how do you people drink your tea? In a bowl? And he's like, "Okay." So he gives her a cup and he like gives her cream and sugar with it. And she's like, "This must be terrible. Can't drink it." So she like takes like a little warning sip and she's like, "Actually, this is phenomenal. I will not be taking any of those things." Thank you so much.
Yeah. She's like, "This is way better than anything I've ever had." I can't imagine why anybody would want to put cream and sugar in it.
Which is so funny because in that moment I was like, I would definitely be putting so much sugar and cream in mine, but that's just me. And then Tess obviously asks about, "Hey, what's that random door over there that has magic in it?" And Ned's like, "I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't look over there.
Don't look at that door.
What door? What door?
There's nothing behind it." And she's like, "Okay, so there's definitely something there."
There's no doors in this house. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Never seen a door before.
There's not a door there. I don't know what you're looking at. And then Tess decides it's time to go home. Now that she feels better, she's got to deal with the mess that has now followed her life for accepting work from a customer. So she uses her little, I'm going to say the name wrong, Perseus,
Hmm.
to try to go back to Red London, and realizes it takes you back exactly where
Where you're standing.
you're standing, or relatively.
Because she doesn't have a key on the other side.
Yeah, relatively close. And she like goes into someone's house
Hmm.
who's making dinner, and they think that she's like trying to break an entry in the middle of the morning, I guess.
Which she did.
Technically. That wasn't
She
her intent,
popped
though.
into their house.
Yeah.
So, in a very technical sense, she entered.
Yeah,
Didn't break anything.
that's true. And immediately left and tried again. Yeah, so that happens, and then you find out that uh the hand is about to be an even bigger problem. And then Bex shows up with Cal, and they try to. Oh, sorry, before that, Tess realizes that Lila is like close to her. Like she runs into Lila or sees her down the road, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna be really close to her, so when something bad happens to me, maybe she'll help me."
Yeah, because she knows who she is.
Yeah, and she knows that she's like the most powerful magician, and she's like, maybe if I just like kind of stalk her, eventually she'll have to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And at which point Lila is like, why are you following me? Because she thinks she's being sneaky, and Lila's entire life is basically just stalking and robbing people. So that's what Lila thinks is happening. And Tess is like, I need your help. And she's like, I will not be doing that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And then immediately, as Lila is like, I don't believe you. I think you're trying to rob me. In come Bex and Cal, like,
Callum.
Callum, thank you. And they're like, we're here to kill her. Thank you so much. And that's when Lila finds out that she has the Perseus. And she's like, I've been looking for you. I'm going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, they're all going to kill me, so you're going to have to keep me alive long enough to do that. And then Kel shows up because Kel and Lila are never more than like 10 feet apart at all times, even when she tries to be. They get in this huge fight. Somebody makes a comment about how if Kel isn't using his magic, people are going to start thinking he doesn't have any. And it was at that point in the book I realized that nobody else knows that he can't use his magic. That like he legitimately ran away, and nobody but Lila and like the royal, I don't even think all of the royal people know, just like his brother and his brother's lovers.
You're not going to go advertising that.
Yeah, I know. I just felt like the way that they were describing those things, it sounded like this huge battle. I just assumed that people knew what happened, but I guess it makes sense that you would not, you would put out the version that you want as the people who won. I guess that didn't really occur to me that they didn't get the whole story. I thought everybody would just have known because they saved the world.
Why would they just know? They're the only three that were there that survived anything.
Yeah.
If they don't tell anybody, you think there's like a news reporter there watching?
I guess in my mind, yeah,
that
there
wasn't
was.
happening.
Yeah, that's true.
They went and did whatever the hell they did, and that was that.
Yeah.
And then they all went back to whatever the fuck they were doing. Kel's not going around telling everybody, oh yeah, I don't have magic anymore.
Yeah. Well, he has it. He just can't use it, or he'll
Yeah.
be in like crippling pain. Yeah. So then Tess breaks the Perseus, and Lila thinks it's all like a big. That Lila thinks she made a fake one to destroy. Turns out Tess, in fact, did not. She destroyed the actual one, and then everybody's pissed that
Yeah, obviously.
that Tess broke the actual one.
As you should be. When it's the only one that is made.
Yeah, but you would think that like Lila, well, Lila's mad because she can't like finish her favor because she doesn't return it. But like
Yeah.
overall, you think they would be happy because the entire reason this thing is being hunted down is to be used to kill Rye. So like Kel should be thrilled because they're not going to use that anymore to get into the palace
Mm-hmm.
to kill Rye. But
Mhm.
guess not because everybody's pissed.
I think they were more just surprised that she broke
The real
the main one.
Yeah.
I don't think they were necessarily that mad at her.
Yeah, that's true.
More just like, yo, what the hell? It's kind of wild. You didn't use a fake one?
No.
But she can also just build another one.
Yeah, she can.
She made that one.
She did. And that's what Lila says. And then Tess is like, I will not be doing that. I'm not making this. Nobody should have this power that was not gifted this power. And Lila is like, you're fucking making another one. And then she ends up getting kidnapped and has to. So
Well, they want her to.
they want her to. Yeah, that battle scene takes a while. And I don't remember. Do you remember how it ends? Because they don't kill him.
How what ends?
How that battle in the inn ends. They like Lila is fighting Bex, Kel comes in and is fighting Callum. Don't they just like I think they just destroy the entire inn and then they run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all that ever happened was they just run away.
Yeah. That's like the whole book.
Yeah.
And then it all comes to fruition at the end.
Barely.
Oh, I thought it was real shitty though. They take Tess back and they take her in as a prisoner.
Yeah.
I just thought that was awful. They like put her in the jail cell and you find out that these cells are like warded and so she can't use her magic at all. And then when she's in there, the queen is like, I find you fascinating.
Give me some of your blood.
She's like, would you like to come to my workshop?
Let me dig around in there.
And she tries to use her special bands that she made that Alucard was like, destroy these. The queen was like, you got it. Will do. Definitely did not. She goes to get them out, I think to trick Tess into putting them on so she can see how she sees. And then she like swears that Alucard took them, which is going to be important later. And then she just like kind of talks to Tess and she wants Tess to fix a magic box, I think. And she doesn't want her to like rebuild the Persilice or anything. She just wants to see how
She
her
wants
magic.
to see how it works.
Yeah. To which Tess says, I will be making a bomb and running away. That's what Tess says. She makes like a little bomb. Well, she doesn't make like a bomb. She makes like a silencing. Like she makes the magic box silence everything around her. And so nobody can hear anybody in the queen's. And she like handcuffs the queen to a table. So the queen is just in her little workshop in silence.
She melted the metal
That's what it was. Yeah.
to her hands and to the workbench. She didn't make a bomb. She
Well,
didn't
that's-
handcuff anybody.
That's how I pictured it. I pictured it as like a little like, and not like a bomb because it doesn't like blow up, but like.
Well,
it's
that's what
like
you
a little-
said.
Yeah, I know, but it like it falls and it like goes off, but like it going off, it just like silences everything, so nobody can hear her. So she could theoretically be stuck in her workshop
Mm-hmm.
until somebody goes in to, I guess, check on her or see if she's in there.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't really talk to anybody, so it could take hours, which it kind of does. She's just like sitting in there in
Takes a
silence. Yeah. And then Tess runs away, and as soon as she gets off the palace, she gets kidnapped.
As one does.
Yeah.
And the only reason that anybody finds the queen is because they went to the cell to find that it is empty. And then they assume that Lila took her.
Yeah.
There's-
Poor Lila.
Yeah, they're like, well, Lila, what the fuck, dog? And then
Kel like storms off. And
Yeah.
he's like, Lila, god damn it. And he's like, I'm gonna go get her. Everyone else is like, we're gonna ask like some other questions before we just assume. I think it's Alucard that ends up asking the guards. He's like, excuse me. And they're like, the queen took her. We're just doing our job.
yeah, well, they ask, they're like, where'd Delilah take her? And they're like, well, my lord, Mrs. Bard was never here. She did not take. It was the queen, sire. So then they're like, oh, what the fuck? So then they, I would assume, automatically think she's got her tied up on a fucking bench and they're just cutting her open and looking through her. because that's what she wants to do to everybody, because she
Yeah.
wants to just understand how things work. And then they walk in there and you just see the queen just
She's like, I'm so bored.
yeah, metal bended onto a fucking workbench, and then she can't can't talk.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, this is the quietest I've ever heard this workshop. And they close the little box, and it's just like, I just picture that like sound. There's like, whew, and it's just like super loud again. And then this is when Rye realizes he may have married a psychopath, because he's like, why would you take her out? She's like, well, I was pretty sure she was going to do something like this. And I don't remember how she tracks her, but she like pulls out a scrying board and is like tracking her down.
Mhm.
She stole like a little bone from the owl, I think, is how she ends up tracking her. And Raya's like, you knew she was going to do this?
She was using her as bait.
Yeah, and that's basically what she says. And Raya's like, that is despicable. And everyone else in the room was kind of like, I thought it was a pretty good
Good idea.
plan.
Good idea.
And Raya's like, I actually hate you. And I just wanted to, like, listening to that, finishing the rest of this book, I just want to be like, Raya, have you met the people in your inner circle? Because I'm pretty convinced that's the nicest way to do what the rest of your group was going to do anyway. Like, Lila was ready to straight grab her and, like, walk her in the street and be like, she's right here. Take me to where your leader is. I'm not convinced Hell would have done the same thing either. Or Alucard. So I'm just like, I don't think you fully understand the rest of the people that you spend your life with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only other person here that's not grade A crazy is your child. But based on the fact that she also hangs out with all these people, it's not looking great. So, there's that.
Happens.
Yeah, and then Lila finds the brothel. We find our way to the Vale, which I think lives up to expectations. I mean, I know we don't really get to see the brothel that much, but it is still like
Pleasure garden.
Sorry, they do a really good job like describing it. I like that everybody gets a mask when they get in. They all have to go through a bouncer and like show their like super secret invite
Mm-hmm.
because it's almost like a like you have to like find the clues to get to the garden, and I think that's crazy.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be super exclusive and that shit. But then that's when Lila gets there and she sees all the dumb fucks that are there. And
Yeah.
she's like, how did it take me so long to figure this out when these types of people are the ones that are here? Yeah. She was so pissed.
She was, and I did enjoy that. And then she like shows the coin, and I almost wonder too if like the coin is specific for like the hand meeting, and then there's like a completely entirely separate, not so difficult invitation.
There's a good chance, most likely, yeah.
Because she approaches it like she's trying to find the hand, and that's how she finds the coin that leads her to the Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if she had initially started just trying to find the Vale, if it would have been easier. But I don't know. Because
Maybe.
she does have a point. Like, how did it take her so long,
But
and all these other people are
She
already
didn't
there?
figure out until the end, until later, that that's where the hand was meeting. And that was when she figured out the message.
Mhm.
So it's not like she had the idea to go to the Vale some other way.
Yeah, that's true.
So she wouldn't have been able to look at that. She just figured it out. She's like, oh, it's always moving. There's always this. There's always new people.
Mhm.
That must, that's probably where the hand's going.
Yeah, and they all make comments. Her, Kel, Alucard all make the comment of like, there is no better place to have this meeting for the rebellion than in a room full of other people who are busy doing other things. Like, there's no need to hide, just do it in plain sight. People aren't going to notice. And so she's like wandering around the house. She gets approached by a couple of the ladies, and somebody tells her to go to like the library or something. I think is what it is, or one of the rooms that no one's in. So she goes in and starts like snooping around, trying to find stuff. And that's when Alucard's brother comes in and starts talking to her, and he's like, "Oh, I know you." And she's like, "Dude, I don't know you." And you realize that like Lila really doesn't forget a face, because when Tess is like stalking her, she remembers Tess from like an interaction 8 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
because Tess said she like saw Lila's threads and they were silver, and she'd never seen a silver thread before.
Mm-hmm.
She'd never met an Antari. And so she tries to grab it, and Lila just assumes she's being pickpocketed. And like she clocks Tess immediately, and she's like, "Have I met you before?" And then this man is like in the room talking to her. She's like, "I don't know you," and he's like, "No, but I know you." And that's when she realizes this is not going to go well. And I'm pretty sure he drugs her. She wakes up somewhere completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you find out who actually stole the Queen's magical bands.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I had a lot of questions about, because you know it wasn't him. Because there's no way he got into the castle.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire time I was just trying to figure out who in this castle is working with him. Do you want to talk about any of that? Or talk about the fight? You just want me to keep going?
You've been wanting to talk the entire time.
I know, but
Every time I say something, you cut me off. So I've just been letting you go. No, I have nothing to say. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just go. Just keep talking. I'll say something when I need to.
Okay. So then Tess and Lila wake up at like the same time. Tess wakes up and Bex is there, and they give her like 8 different items to pick from. And they're like, "You're going to make a new one." And she's like, "I will not." And then they give her this like poison.
Hell yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
kill
like,
that bitch.
They give her this poison that like takes. They describe it as wives give it to their husbands over like months and months and months, and it eventually makes the blood so thick that it gives their husbands like heart attacks. And you're only supposed to take like a drop a day for like a couple months. Well, they make her drink an entire vial, and they're like, "You got an hour. Make this box. If you make the box, we'll give you the antidote. Go. On your mark, get set, go." And she's like,
And it had taken her multiple days to build the last one, or close to at least.
and that one had already been started. She just had to fix it because it had been broken. Like this one, she has to make completely from scratch. And she's like, "An hour is not enough time." And they're like, "Well, it better be." And I'm
It's
just
gonna
like,
have to be,
"That's
or you're dead.
yeah," which is like a bold strategy, because like, what if she doesn't finish? Then you're still in the same situation you were before, except she's dead, so then nobody can help you.
Fuck it.
Yeah, well,
Get her out of there.
that's what they do.
Who cares?
So she picks a clock, and she makes a magical doorway, and opens it, and what's his name? Callum?
Well, she tells them that it's done. That she built the whole thing. And yes, then gives it to him and says, "It is completed." And he opens it, and she thinks that she can just get him to walk into it. So they open it, and he looks at it, and then he is probably in his mind thinking, where does it open? Where's it going to go? So he throws the vial in, and then nothing happens.
Yeah. And then it just starts like sucking everything in.
Yeah.
And then it like reaches out and grabs him.
Yeah, because she basically made a one-way doorway trying to get him to basically trick him into walking into it, because she didn't make there be an ending. But then also, now the vial's gone because they're the antidote, because it sucked him off, and that at the same time, double-handed.
Yeah, and then it starts, once he's in, then it starts like taking books and taking all this other stuff. And then it flips over to White London, and you find out there's like a crack in the middle of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they just like are like, "Koska, we need you to fix this."
Yeah, she's the only magical person in the realm.
I know.
So
It's
they
just like-
obviously are going to assume that that's magic and that she can fix it.
Yeah.
That was pretty obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I guess she does kind of fix it. I mean, it's implied that it, when she leaves, that it's like taken care of.
She just goes and does cocaine.
Maybe. I don't know. But then Lila wakes up in another house and is getting her getting beat up pretty bad. And it's at that point Kel and Alucard make it to the Vale. And
It's
and they
because
can't
she
get-
finally used the stone.
yeah, she uses her little
And they are at the House Emery.
yes.
That is where whatever the fuck Lila is. Because she calls for Kel and fucking Alucard says, why is she there? There's no reason she should be at that house. Like it's abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody assumes that Varys is the one doing everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is when you also see like Kel's willing to do anything for Lila because he does his little like he walks his little Antari magic and like walks to wherever she is. That's his like with the ring, and then he's like doubled over about to die trying to walk there, and they get there and she's not even where she's supposed to be because it takes him to the ring and the ring got like thrown down the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
But they do eventually find Kel goes and finds her, and Alucard ends up like face to face with his brother and is like, easy peasy. He doesn't have any magic. And then he comes at him with like aggressive wind or something, and Alucard's like, what the fuck is happening? When did you get so powerful? And that's when he like cocks the ring that he has on, and he's like, how did you get this? And I think for a part of him, he does think that the queen's in on it. I really legitimately think that his first thought is, she's a traitor. Because I don't know how, like, he was so shocked that she made them and told her to destroy them, and then
and then he sees him on his brother.
Yeah, not even like a week later, though. I feel like the timeline of this book is like 4 days. It feels so fast. It like throws me off because you do go to Koska and like she jumps back sometimes, but like I do feel like from the start of this book to the end of this book is maybe like a week or two. It doesn't feel that long. I don't know.
I don't know. There's enough time jumps where it doesn't.
Yeah, it's just it gets a little murky. And then everything just starts happening at once. Tess is sitting in a room that everything's getting sucked in to, and then Lila can't get the band off her wrist, so she has no magic, and Kel has his broken magic, so they're both just fumbling, trying to figure out what they're supposed to do. And then Alucard is fighting his brother and has to decide like whether or not he's going to kill her. And Tess is also in the house with them. That's where she's building her box. And so as everything is being sucked into this black hole of nothingness, Lila and Kel are like, what are we supposed to do here? Like, how are we? And Tess is just like dying on the floor, like, oh, death would be so lovely now. I think, doesn't Lila end up killing? They like go to help Alucard. They go to find him, and Lila doesn't think he's going to be able to kill his brother, so she just does it for him. She just stabs him.
They don't kill him at all.
They don't kill him. How they get? They cut his hand off. How they get the ring off his finger? Somebody cut it off.
Yeah, they get it from him.
Yeah.
Because how does the book end, honey?
Oh, right. You're right. They don't kill him. They chop his finger off then, because they have to get the ring off of him. And the minute the ring is off of him, the bracelet falls off Lila. And then Lila pockets both of them because that's just what she does. She just steals everything. And then Lila tries to shut the door with her magical powers, and it does not work. And Kel puts the bracelet on and gives the ring to Lila, and he's like, just use my magic, it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. She does. She ends up closing the door, and then immediately Kel just starts screaming.
Yeah, he's basically dying.
Yeah, immediately. And then everybody just wakes up, and we're all in the palace. Tess wakes up in the palace, and she's like, huh, must not have died. And then she sees Lila, who also said she wasn't ever going to save her again. Obviously saved. And And Lila's like, oh, don't worry. I didn't do it out of the kindness of my heart. You owe me a favor, and I'm calling it in right now. You're going to go help Kel.
Yeah, you're gonna fix him.
Yeah, because that was part of the reason they threw her in jail the first time as well, is because Lila's like, if you can see the threads, you can see that Kel is not okay and you can fix him. And she's like, I don't fix people, I fix objects. And she's like, well, you could try.
Think of him as an object.
Basically.
Is
She's like,
basically the thought.
yeah, Lila's like, I don't care, just fix him. She's like, I can't. So then when she saves her life for the second time, she's like, you're going to fix him or we're all going to die trying. And Rye is like also very sick because Kel is very sick. So they're just like, well, he's going to die if we don't do anything. We understand that he could possibly die if you do something. And then this is the part of the book that I was like, this is what we're going to skip over. She just like looks at Alucard and is like, hey, you can see threads. Why don't you help me? And then she's like, make me tea. And then we just fast forward to Kel being fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is the one part we're not going to talk about her like manipulating threads or like.
I'm sure they'll talk about it in another book.
I hope so, because I just want to know what was actually wrong. She does take a piece of Lila's magic though and uses it to like fix him, which I thought was so cute.
Yeah.
That they're like literally their magic is now intertwined forever, which is like so poetic and cute. But yeah, and then do you want to talk about the end since you already alluded a little bit to what happens at the very end? Oh, you want me to lead it? So then it like jumps to the end. It's back to Alucard's brother's point of view. His name is Barrett. Yeah. And this is where you find out who's helping him. And I had it narrowed down to the nanny and the priest, and I was right. It was the priest lady.
Yep, the new priest after the old one died.
Yes. I was leaning towards her the minute Kel was like, I don't trust her. And I was like, you're right, Kel. I don't trust her either. We shouldn't trust her. She seems shady. So she like goes in and Varys thinks that she's going to let him out. And in fact, she is just there to murder him.
She's basically there just to talk shit about him and then fucking kill him.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all she does. Just tells him that he's an absolute worthless bag of shit. And then, because everybody forgets that the priests do hold magic, so she does some earth magic, splinters a piece of rock and slices his throat without ever touching him, and then walks out.
After he like he yells at, and I was like, bro, I don't know what your plan was here, because he's like, okay, let me out, I'll do better next time. And she's like, no, you're done. Like, you had your chance.
There is no next time.
There is no next time. And he's like, I will tell everyone that you're a part of this plan. She's like, oh, that's cute.
You have nobody to tell because you are dead.
Yeah, you're dead. He does make a comment though, because obviously Alucard goes down and talks to him before like he gets murdered, and is like, why would you do this? Like, was this really just because I have magic and you don't? Like, are you that petty? Like, you couldn't just exist in the world? And basically, yes, that is his entire thing. He claims to have made this entire movement because he just doesn't think the Moresh should be in power anymore, because Rye doesn't have power, which is an insane take when he also doesn't have very much either, to think that he should be the one in charge. But he makes a comment of like, we're called the Hand because if you cut one of us off, we still have another. So like, I'm just trying to figure out if that's like symbolism that there are two heads and she's the other one. So now like she's the sole leader of the rebellion, or if it's like a metaphor that there are multiple people leading this and like she is still just one of multiple. Because I feel like that is going to be very important later on. Also, how did she just go into the Queen's, like, I guess she must also be the Queen's counsel. Like, I know she's Rye's counsel, but like, why did nobody question why she needed to go into the Queen's workshop? Because she clearly stole the bracelet in the ring. She's in the palace all the time.
She's a priest.
So
why are people questioning the priest?
Yeah, I guess that's true. She could probably just go wherever she wanted. But, and that's kind of how it ends. You just, Tess is, I think she's on a boat at the end. She like makes a comment about, is she on a boat at the end or did I miss?
Yes.
Yeah, she's on a boat.
Because Lila takes her to
Oh, right.
Maris
Yeah.
and
yes.
gives her to Maris
Yes. And I really, oh yes, I forgot about that part.
because Lila goes to Maris and says, I don't have the purseless, but I have this. And pushes Tess at her and says she can make you whatever the fuck you want.
And at which point Maris is like, I'm not keeping you here against your will. And Delilah like rolls her eyes like, I
Yeah.
brought her here and you're not even going to keep her
She's like, you can work for me.
if you want.
Yeah.
And then Tess like wanders the boat for 30 seconds and is like, there is some pretty cool stuff here. I think I'm going to stay.
Yep.
And I'm going to make all these things a million times better. So,
Yeah, she told Maris she could improve everything on the boat.
mhm.
So, yes, she was on a boat.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
That happened.
That did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, she's on a floating market. So,
She's on the Foray Strauss.
yeah. So I feel like that's definitely going to be, I don't know what's going to happen in the next book. Not sure if it's going to be another assassination attempt on Rye or like what is going on that they're going to have to fix. But her being able to tinker with rare forbidden relics is just going to like be wild. I think she just started fixing the wards though when it ends. I'm pretty sure that's what she's fixing because she makes a comment about like, well, how did somebody get on the boat and steal anything in the first place? And she's like, well, clearly my wards need some work. And Tess is like, I can fix that. I can fix that. So I think that's everybody. Kel is all fixed and
Yeah, that's pretty much everything
Yeah,
to
that's
the
everything.
extent that
yeah.
is going on. So I'm sure by the time the next book starts, there will be a small time jump, and everybody will be doing more things and fucking and
Yeah.
God
I would
knows
guess
what.
it's probably going to have something to do with like 2 holes being ripped in the world because they do make a comment about how the walls might be failing because they were made like hundreds of years ago to like stop the barriers, like to put up barriers from all the Londons.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like that might be why the magic is dying. Because people make a couple comments about it like that, you know, the magic is dying and nobody really knows why, but it used to flow freely until the walls went up. And like they only put the walls up because they were scared magic was going to burn out, but now magic is burning out anyway. So I'm like, I wonder if that's actually the real reason. Like the magic is pissed it can't go wherever it wants. So it's just like, I'm just not going to go at all. I don't know. Maybe
Guess we'll find out.
It's just so crazy to me that like she can have such vastly different books. Like this is so well thought out and I have so many questions and I will think about this book probably every day forever. And I think about Addie LaRue every day. Like how does she write both of these books? I still think about Vicious and Vengeful every now and then too. And I'm super stoked for the third one. But they're also vastly different. And then you got vampires. Like, how is she so talented? How do people do this? Like, it's just so crazy. It is so crazy to me. Because these aren't like, oh, I pumped out a book. Like, these aren't like hallmarky, like, oh, here's the formula of like this happens and this happens. And
Romance,
this happens.
yes.
Yeah, romance or like those murder mystery, like those kitschy ones that happen too. Like there is no like formula. Like it's just so crazy to me. Like I get how people write so many books when you have like a set formula of how you're doing and like you can still write really well, but like you still at least have a pretty well thought out outline. But then you have books like these and I'm just like I don't know where we're going, but I'm so locked in for this journey. So that's my
All
update.
right. So there we are.
There we are.
That's finally the end of this
Wrapped up there.
book. We've made it through. Final thoughts, I guess. That's what you. That's pretty much what
that's
you
a
did.
pretty thick book.
It's really not.
I mean, to talk about, yeah, there's so much that happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not that thick of a book.
Oh, well. Well, next week we'll be talking about the Avatar.
Maybe.
So, still elemental magic. I gotta get that at the library, though.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on the story at all, or you got everything out that you needed?
Oh, I'm sure I still have a lot of thoughts that you're going to have to listen to at home, but I think that's all I have for right now. Every time I read more into Darker Shades, I have so many more things to add to this. So I would recommend to the people, if you are going to read this, I would read Darker Shades of Magic first if I could do it all over again. I think I would read the 3 first and then read this one.
Yeah.
Some of my questions have been answered, like that I had at the beginning. They were answered in like the first book of the Darker Shade series. And like I feel that the cities are very well described, like all the different Londons. And their magic systems are really well described in that book, which they're not in here because they really only focus on Red London and a little bit of white and gray, but that's it. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go.
There
You
you
want
go.
to sign it off?
Yeah, this has been TBR Together. I'm Megan. And that's Jake.
Yep. And that was episode 16.